So today we launch our Queen's Birthday Long Weekend Road Safety Campaign. We're going to have a very strong focus on regional roads and driver distraction. As we know, road safety is complicated in many ways. We have different road conditions, we've got different road users, we've got different laws that apply, there's education and services in the mix. But in other ways it's really simple. It's about people paying attention, it's about people making good and safe decisions on our roads. Everybody needs to play their part to keep themselves and the wider community and their friends and families safe, to be able to be sure that they get to their destination safely and in one piece. In all too many occasions this year in our fatalities, we've seen too many issues where speed, distraction, drink driving and other issues have been involved that we term the fatal five. All of these deaths, in one way or another, are actually preventable, and that's the saddest part for our community. We're losing more people on our roads than we're losing to any other crime type. So this long weekend we will have a very high visible police presence throughout the state. So this is a statewide enforcement campaign. We will play our part in terms of enforcement and education. That's our role. But the public's role on driver safety comes down to the individual behind the wheel of a car, on a motorbike or pedestrians using roads. It also comes down to passengers to make good choices about who they're driving with and who they're choosing to be in charge of their life. It's also their choice about putting on their seatbelt. So we'll be playing our part, and we implore the public of South Australia to play their part, because it's only together can we actually make a difference and make sure that no one dies on our roads this long weekend. This time last year for the Queen's Birthday Long Weekend, we did have no fatalities, so we know it's possible. But it was the first time since 2004 that had actually occurred. So we know it is a challenge, but it's one that we know we can meet if we will play our part. So that's why this weekend we will be out in force, and we will be highly visible, and we'll be reminding people of their obligations to keep themselves safe.
Deputy, we hear before every long weekend, we hear the police make pleas like you are today. What will you be doing differently this time, given that such a high road toll? Is there anything different that you'll be doing?
We're making sure that our deployments are to the intelligence that we have as to driver behaviour at the present time. So we actually look at the roads and the drivers, the types of drivers and the issues that are causing most pressure at this time compared with years before. So it's the positioning of our resources and that visibility that plays an important part. So we always have a high visible presence, but it's about intelligence-led as to where our police are and what we're doing. That's the difference. So in terms of at the moment, we know that most fatalities are occurring in our regional areas. So there will be a high focus on people as they leave the metropolitan area to go into rural areas. So we know we need to be deploying a significant presence in the rural roads, because that's where the majority of issues are occurring in terms of fatalities. So and the other thing is coming down to rostering to make sure that we can get as many police resources out there as we possibly can in the areas where we think it will make the greatest impact. Because it's not just about giving people an expiation, it's not just about catching them when they drink drive, it's actually giving them the message that we're going to be there. So that high visibility can make people prevent the kinds of behaviour that they might think about drinking and driving, because they've had a visual reminder as they leave the city that we're there. It might be a mobile testing station, for example, that reminds them that we're there. So it's having those impacts of prevention and enforcement.
But don't you do that before every public holiday and have in the past? So what is going to change this time?
The change this time is some of it is the education campaign that we're running over this weekend, and we're starting from today. It has a different story. We think it has a different level of being powerful, and we hope that it will resonate to the community. So the content of our education campaign is different, and we try to measure that to get a different reaction from the community. But as you say, a lot of it is similar to what we do, but it's about the nuanced differences. It's not a sea change, and it can't be, because we are enforcement, so that is what we do.
And I guess you can only do so much. Police can only be in one place at one time. So what is your plea to people out there who are seemingly pretty complacent, it seems?
People really need to take responsibility. This is a life and death decision, as we see too readily. So it's about them making choices for their own safety, for the members of their family and the other people who are using our roads. Because, you know, we can only do so much enforcement, but poor choices, I emphasise, are what is causing this. The choice to speed, the choice to drink, the choice to use drugs, and the choice to be tired, or that temptation to use your mobile phone. You make choices every day. These are really bad choices that can end up in you dying. I can't make it any blunter than that. And to be frank, emergency service who are going to these scenes, it's very confronting. And to feel that you are not being successful or that you're not making an impact is enormously frustrating to police and to all other emergency services workers.
So, Kitty, what hope have you of getting that message through this time? Because, you know, as you've heard, you say this every time, every week, every time there's a fatality.
There has to be a tipping point. There has to be a tipping point in our community where people are starting to say, I know somebody that died on our roads, or I know somebody in my workplace who lost somebody. There has to be a tipping point where people are actually recognising the connection between what they do and people dying on our roads. So we're just hoping that that tipping point has come, because quite frankly, it's a dreadful state when so many people are dying on our roads in such a preventable environment.
So you're just asking people to not dob in, but if you're going to get in a car with someone, to make sure that they have had enough sleep, that they're not, you know, driving intoxicated. So is it also incumbent on the person driving with the person who's driving?
Absolutely. When you make a decision to get in a car, you're making a choice to put your life in someone's hands. If you think they're affected by drugs, if you think they're affected by alcohol, if you see them using their phone, if they're going too fast, make the choice to speak up and say, I'm not getting in that car, or slow down, or put your seatbelt on, because you're also giving somebody the power over your life. So
this campaign that you're running, I presume that'll be on TV and everywhere.
Yes.
Are you feeling the pressure with the MAP transitioning that to you?
No, we've always been a willing partner in road safety education, so we don't feel that at all. In fact, our team are working really hard, and they see this as an opportunity, and they see it as a challenge for them to become more involved in these campaigns.
Can you talk about the resources that will be deployed, as what time they will start, and will you have RBTs, will you have general patrols out there, bikes, what will you have out this week?
We'll have everything at our disposal out there, from breath testing stations, motorcycle police, the highway patrol, our general duties patrols. Country regions are heavily involved in this campaign, so every available police resource that's frontline will be out there.
Have you cancelled any leave in response to the road toll on the long weekend?
What we've done is we've maximised our rostering to maximise the number of people that we have available. And police officers know they're 24/7. Public holidays to them are not like they are to some general members of the community. It's an ordinary work day for the vast majority of our frontline officers.
And have you got specific locations or times as well that you will be heavy local patrol?
We do. We have, and that's the tactical information that some of that we'll keep to ourselves, because some of it is about the surprise element to people, about that visibility. But when they see us, but to know that we will be there, and they don't know where and they don't know when, but we know the best opportunities.
So when will those resources ramp up? Is it from who's going to the...
Sorry?
When will your resources be ramped up?
From today. Yeah, the campaign has been launched.
The St. Vines Festival is on, that's on this hotspot. Will you be targeting that?
All those events are subject to police presence and enforcement, yes.
How strange has it been for police? This road toll is pretty high this year. There have been a lot of fatalities. It's not just young people, it's a mixture of ages, and there have been people who've driven into trees, there have been pedestrians who've been killed. How frustrating is it that all these people have succumbed to this?
You're right that there is no one single answer to this. It goes across the whole spectrum of road users, age groups, and it is enormously challenging and frustrating, because everyone would like to have a simple solution. We'd all like to have one silver bullet that solves the problem, but there isn't one. But on that, being that said, whilst it's complicated, it is also simple, because it does come down to humans making choices about their lives and others. That is what it comes down to, people, and they can have control over what they do.
What about double demerits? What's your stand on that, seeing that interstate have done that over long weekends?
Some interstate jurisdictions do have that, you're correct. We are waiting for them to do an analysis and provide an evidence-based approach as to whether they say it's actually had an impact or not. We're certainly open to it if we can see that it has a positive impact, but we need to see that data.
Haven't you canvassed that before? Has that been canvassed in South Australia before, double demerits on long weekends?
There's been out for discussion, but as I say, we haven't seen empirical data that suggests that it actually has either a positive or a neutral impact. So until we see that, we'd want to be confident of the outcome.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.